to know why you always feel like you're so far behind other people? Well, it's because, I'm going to give you the brutally honest truth right now. It's because everybody lies about how much money they make. Every single person, everything that you see on social media is fake. Everything you see on YouTube is fake. Instagram fake, TikTok fake, all of it fake. When I was coming up, when I was like truly broke, I'd always look up to these guys because, you know, they were 19 years old. They had the Lambo, the Porsche, the Ferrari, the McLaren. I was like, how the fuck do you guys achieve this? Like, how are you guys doing this? And so this was my driving motivator to like get rich. And then as I started to get rich, as I started to make more money, I started to notice that like this trend continued to increase. So like these people I initially looked up to, you know, 19-year-olds with Ferraris and whatnot. I was like, okay, so then I start seeing 17-year-olds with Ferraris, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, as I'm getting older, I'm starting to get left behind. Like these kids are moving so fast. Anyway, met this kid up in Miami who's really fucking rich. And he essentially said, anybody who makes any kind of income claim up in Miami, I do not believe it, because they're all liars and they're all scammers and they're all thieves and they're all just lying about everything. And they rent these Lambos, and I was like, no, there is no chance that is happening, because it just looks so authentic. You know, it's always on their story, and like, I'm like, no way. Anyway, small world, end up meeting the guys that I was looking up to. And yeah, turns out they're broke. Turns out they're completely broke. Lambos, McLarens, everything on the story, on the Instagram. Turns out one of them works as a DJ, making, a couple $100 a night. And then the other one just got inheritance from his father who passed. And it wasn't even like that much money. It was just a little bit of money goes a long way when you want to look like you're rich, right? So anyway, I started to realize, okay, everybody is absolutely broke. And so the point I'm trying to make here is you feel like you're always left behind because everybody on social media is constantly lying about the, you know, lifestyle that they live. Every single last one of them. It's gotten to the point now where there was this really big Forex or stock trading group called like SAR or something. And it was ran by this kid named Morgan. And he was constantly posting the Lambos, the Ferraris, the McLarens, everything. Turns out, and he publicly noted this, like, I was renting all of it. I know a dealership and they let me rent them because I'm bringing promotion to their dealership. Actually is pretty crazy, because I've then met a ton of other people in Miami who have that same deal with like one-of-one motorsports. They'll let these guys rip these cars for free, which like not that's not bad at all. In return, the guys that they're letting rip for free just has to make posts on them so that they bring them more traction and whatnot. Pretty much marketing for them. And I realized, like, oh my God, everything in fake. But back to the SAR trading. Anyway, he came forward and he was like, yeah, it was all just rentals and whatnot. And then this kid was making a lot of money selling courses because he, you know, obviously he pretending to have this specific lifestyle and whatnot. And he was getting millions and millions and millions and millions of views. I'm still under the impression this kid is making a lot of money, because I didn't know at the time that, you know, everything was rented. But then come a couple years later, a kid ended up admits that it was all rented. And then a couple years later goes by. He's like, I finally hit my first $30,000 month and I bought an Audi R8. I'm like, what? Like, you're like, and I know this is going to sound ridiculous when I call him broke, but it's because, like, you're not getting Ferraris, McLarens, Lambos, all this shit on $30K a month, okay? You're not. You should see the dude's Instagram. It's flooded with like lifestyle content. You can't afford that on that pay. Point that I'm trying to make in this entire video is you're not behind. It's just these people create a lifestyle for themselves that's so absolutely and utterly fake that you can't even tell. A lot of these people, it's funny. It's really fucking funny. A lot of these guys end up developing a really bad imposter syndrome. One of the guys that I was looking up to at the time, he had convinced the world that he was rich. And so when I met him, he was actually one of the laziest people I had ever met, because he had no ambition to actually succeed, because he had already convinced everybody he was rich. And at the end of the day, it's very difficult to sit here and say that, you know, rich people get rich just for the betterment of humanity. I think to a degree there's an extent of that, but I think that there's also a massive gravity that's held on the fact that you want to get rich and successful for some degree of social status. The rich people don't wear Richard Milles because it tells the time better. They wear it because it's a symbol. It's a status, and that's why they wear it. So anyway, once you convince the entire world that you are loaded, what's the point in getting loaded anymore? Everybody already thinks you're rich. You've already hit master prestige. You're not behind. People are just fucking liars. And two, don't be one of these geeks Don't be one of these guys who just fakes this lifestyle and pretends they're rich even though they're not, and then just end up getting imposter syndrome, and then you have no real innate desire to even get rich because the innatency in it no longer it exists because everybody already thinks you're rich. Anyway, other than that, I'll see you in the next video.